A very good morning to our listeners out there, both in Rwanda here and beyond the borders. This is News Review.
I'm happy today you corrected. You say even here, did you say here, or are we falling under the ones beyond the borders? Because I'm on a border.
You're on a border of something.
So where do we fall? Where are we categorized?
You're beyond the borders within.
Beyond the borders within. Good
Right.
morning to you.
Good morning to our listeners out there. This is 89.7 Contact FM, and you're listening to News Review. Yes. Morning, Moses.
Moses is still on what is up.
Moses, he looks like yesterday.
He looks like yesterday.
Yeah.
Yani anakaa kama jana.
Anakaa kama jana.
Sema, how are you?
Morning to you, Moses.
How's everything?
It's awesome.
Yes.
Yes, a very wonderful morning. Eugene, what did you wake up to this morning?
I woke up to the madness of my two ladies on CFN breakfast as usual.
Yeah. I hate that pair.
Why do you hate them? You need to love them even more.
You know,
They always grill you. Is that why?
Too much. In fact, this morning, I just felt like going for a long call.
Okay, keep that. You'd have said, going for a call.
Yeah.
The sight is not pleasant in my mind.
Don't imagine that.
Yeah, okay.
Nobody would want to imagine that, you
Yeah.
know. Yes, so what kind of news have you seen out there?
There's a lot of stuff going on. Of course, the meeting that was happening in Uganda, where Rwanda, Uganda was having a joint discussion on some of the things that they can do to improve trade between them and
Yes,
the
the business
relations,
forum.
of course.
Yes.
And then, of course, there is still more reactions onto the issues of Uhuru's decision to go to The Hague.
Yes.
Plus, of course, some of those people who are saying, this man just failed his fellow African heads of state who had promised and vowed to stand by Kenya and said, don't go. Plus, of course, there has been a lot of nitty-gritties coming in terms of whatever he said really means. Is it practical in terms of saying, I'm going there as a civilian? We saw some pictures coming around on social media networks showing him going through regular checks as a regular citizen.
Yes.
But some saying this is just a PR gimmick. It's not really true. If you can see the kind of traffic jam that was caused
At the airport.
not even at the airport. Of course, at the airport there was commotion and,
Yes.
and also heading towards the airport when he was going to the airport.
Yes.
If he was a regular citizen, then there wouldn't have been motorcades and stopping other civilians for him to pass to go.
Right.
So how practical is that statement? I'm going there like a regular citizen. That's what is now emerging.
But however much people are saying it's PR, it's working for him. It's
Congratulations, guys.
Felicitations.
You guys have a new president. You know?
we have a new president.
Actually, there is a student who a law student who has gone to court to push for the swearing in
Yeah,
of
of
Ruto as
As the
president. And definitely
Makes
this
sense.
it does, right?
Right, absolutely. You don't just say, okay,
Take
I'm
over.
handing over.
Albert,
You know?
seems like that's that's the best thing that you've ever heard about the ICC issue and Uhuru and Ruto.
No, I
thing.
just said that at least for one thing is there. I mean, if there is now a summit with three heads of states, Ruto will
Has
be
to
there.
go, but
Yes,
if he goes, he's going
As the
without
president.
having taken oath of office.
Yes, that's why I say congratulations, but maybe we should wait for the swearing in. And we'll invite other presidents for the swearing in, you know?
But
you'll wait.
as I keep telling people, okay,
Whoever you're talking to on that.
But you know the big news is that you have a non-Kikuyu as a president.
That people are saying that.
You know?
That was saying that this
It's not
is
just
the
the
news.
numbers.
And
It's not
we
just the numbers.
we have and he has been appointed. Do we now appoint presidents or elect presidents?
you know, guys.
appointed
Wait,
acting
he was
president.
He was elected vice, right?
Yeah, it was, but one thing people fail to understand is, as much as we might say that it was a wrong move for the Kenyan president forever that he did, but at the end of the day, let's just go back before he took the oath of office as the president of Kenya. On his campaign trail,
Yes.
one of the promises he gave to the Kenyan community was, even if he became president, he will own to the calling to
Of
the
ICC.
ICC. And he promised the Kenyan community that even if I'm president today, I will make sure I support the ICC process, and I will go there in person if I'm needed.
Moses.
So no. I'm coming there.
Yeah.
So as much as we are saying he had the backing of the the AU and stuff like that, it goes back. No.
Okay.
His iPhone 7, he's out.
And he keeps it in his hand.
In case you didn't know.
He sleeps with that.
iPhone 7.
As much as we are saying that he had the backing of the African leaders and stuff like that. At the end of the day, one thing we have to remember is the Kenyan people are the people who put him in office. They're the people who elected him into office. So at the end of the day, when I've been going through different reactions from the Kenyan community, like they say, okay, I don't know, I don't know about the statistics, but they're saying more than 70% of the Kenyans are really happy with the move of the president. So which means they are happy that their president kept his promise.
Moses,
and at the end of the day,
you know what I want to tell you, Moses. The other thing in correction is that these same perception surveys that are being done by some or the same institutions which most Kenyans before had said these institutions are just bought institutions to give us certain perception indexes to tell us that this is the mood on the ground.
Eugene, don't you think it's a culture that if things are working in favor of others, people trash those institutions, and if it's not, if it works in their favor, there are people who will applaud that.
Let's assume that if it's not the right numbers about people being happy about it. And you would say, of course, that is what matters at the end of the day, because it's all about Kenya anyway. So if Kenya decides and Kenya is happy that the president goes, fine. But let me tell you something. The average man in the street, does he really understand how the state house works, how it works, and how it works, and how a state needs to be run? And so it's easy sometimes to use just the mood of
the people. It's just emotions sometimes, and maybe not informed emotions.
Exactly,
and that's what needs to be really distinguished in this kind of survey.
Let me tell you one thing. I was looking at the journalist forum, or the Rwanda journalist forum, on Facebook yesterday. There was so much buzz about the same thing. But now, one thing, that guy, even if we say that what he's doing is a PR stunt, at the end of the day, he's capitalizing on such facts as what you're saying for his move. That the PR engine in his office, trust me, deliberated over all these issues that we're discussing over here.
Yes.
Before they came to that decision.
It's PR. I'd like to know what the whole political institutions of Kenya think about this whole thing. The people who have the institutions in their hands, what they think about. And I still would like to hear what the colleagues are thinking about this.
We yesterday we tried, and probably today we'll try again. Whatever we got in the newsroom to hear. Yes, we did. We got Burundi. We wanted to know from heads of state.
So you called Pierre?
And from with someone who is really close to power.
Okay.
That word resonates.
Okay.
Yeah. So someone close to him said that this is his personal decision, and we have nothing much to say about it. He has decided. But then we also looked for African Union representatives. There's one who was around here, and for him he said again, yes, it is his personal decision, but we need to tell people that the ICC needs to stop being biased against Africa. But the narrative is always the same. We don't see any new thing being said on top of what we have always had.
What about Kenya? Did you try it there?
Of Kenya, see, Mr. Moses here said.
Let me add on that. Politics is always a very, very, very. It's a funny game. It's about how you throw in the right card at the right time.
Yes.
Because let me tell you right now,
if Kenya, but remember there's some hidden cards under the table.
If Kenya held
what? Really? This early?
Come again.
You have that.
Ignore that.
Okay. Again,
let's censor
if
that.
there was an election in Kenya,
That's what
right to
say. That's what you want to hear.
You know? But as the cowboy joke, what they think about that.
I tell you, he looks like yesterday.
okay, let me take you back, guys.
Let me know.
No.
Trace it back. Okay, let's look at the Kenyan politics. In 2002, when Kibaki was coming into office, they say that the analysts say that 14% of the vote that he received was sympathy vote. You know why?
Because of the accident.
Yes. Right now, trust me, what Uhuru Kenyatta is doing. Right now, he's receiving sympathy from the Kenyan community. How is he doing that? The Kenyan people believed that Uhuru Kenyatta and his counterpart Ruto were guilty of the post-election violence. But right now, by Uhuru going to the ICC, in the eyes of a common Kenyan, is trying to prove a case.
So this definitely then
is trying to prove a case that, you know what, you guys, you made me president and I have something to prove that I did not participate in the post-election violence. And trust me, the common Kenyan, the villager Kenyan back in the countryside, when he sees such a pure stunt, he's swayed and gets to believe.
He buys into it.
He buys into that.
No, Eugene.
And trust me, it's working on his,
okay,
in his favor.
Let me just get you out of the surface issues and this whole PR thing. And let's take a look at the real matters at ICC. If you're looking at Uhuru Kenyatta's case, talking of how the thing has been coming on, I mean, does it even feel to you like it's going to hold up? With Bensouda claiming that the government is not doing its part, the Attorney General, they are not giving whatever details she needs, the telephone records, all the records she wanted about Uhuru Kenyatta. So she says that the Kenyan government is not cooperative, and apparently it seems like it's what she needs, whatever she needs from the Kenyan government is basically what that particular case is hinged on. Otherwise,
Michael.
Otherwise,
you see what
to me it feels like a weak
to
case,
Uhuru Kenyatta,
which is already lost.
You're answering yourself, actually. That was a calculated move. Reverse. Somewhere back. Bensouda.
Let's not get up to that point. Just get somewhere.
When he adjourned the case indefinitely, it meant they didn't have enough evidence to implicate the president. Number two, so many witnesses in the Uhuru Ruto case have been withdrawing
over
from
time.
the case.
Yes.
So when the people within the president's circle sits down and brainstorms, they feel they don't have a case.
There are two things involved here, and this is not that joke of that Nigerian comedian.
Two things involved.
There's always two things involved. First of all, there is the element of what the prosecution office, I like these abbreviations, OTP. The office of the prosecutor. OTP. So when they say OTP, okay. So there are two things that they've been saying. That number one, there's been less cooperation from the Kenyan government. We want to know the bank account. We want to know his phone details. Blah 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 blah. And then they say, okay, the reason why we also don't have evidence is not because we did not do enough research. Is that most of our witnesses have recanted their evidence. They've said we were coached, and their backup information or some of the things that they say that led to these witnesses to say this is because they were bribed. Some of them, they are alleging that these witnesses were bribed. The other issue is that most of their key witnesses have either since died or some of them are missing. So at the end of the day, we need to also find a way that at the end of the day we'll be able to know or have an explanation of what really happened here. But if you have all the 100% of the witnesses saying we were coached, or they are available and their testimonies are not holding up, then you can say then this is a weak case. But when you have those two circumstances where there are deaths involved and disappearances, then there is something that needs to be explained.
But Eugene, yes, in theory, yes. But most difficult cases are always like that. I mean, one of the reasons why Rwanda had to go for its own homegrown solutions is that ICTR has as much as they did, the few cases that they did, they never really fulfilled what the promise. I mean, it didn't have any impact on post-genocide rebuilding of the nation and reconciling the nation. That because ICTR was facing things like that all the time.
Witnesses disappearing.
And not just that, you know, because with the time, the Arusha Tribunal there became a republic inside the republic, with the lawyers just having a serious business going on there, with the clients being there for ages, you know, and
it's money business.
It's money business, and you know, and you know how difficult it has been to try the rape cases. You know, trying to bring the witnesses from here to get them there was a problem. They were still not even secure. Some of them have they shouldn't have been identified, and they have been. You know, that's what it takes with this kind of international tribunals. And it's even worse with the Hague, because at least the ICTR was specialized only on Rwanda
case.
You know, but there it's vague. You know, and so I don't really, I don't believe that it will help the Kenyan justice and
for the moment, if things stand the way they are, the case
and it won't. I can mark my words. Watch this space
and
in the
and
future.
It's good.
And there's nothing that, but it's gonna be PR for all of these.
And as he said earlier on, and you also told us not to. I mean, to move away from the PR issue, but we can never get away from it. This is what he's doing, and the issue that we can say here or ask right now, as probably journalists, is when we see all these African heads of state even meeting for a special summit or meeting to discuss how they can support Kenya and even call for pulling out of ICC and protect sitting presidents from appearing in any court. And then Uhuru goes ahead and says, or his PR team says, let's sidestep them and let's do a PR for our president.
I don't think
at the end of the day, you will find that probably Uhuru is now being a lone ranger in the African context as far as the leaders who want the issues of ICC to be stopped. Because if it's now about him, if he's now playing politics of 2017, I mean, or the next election, then where does it leave the other or his peers, his colleagues? Who are saying
and
he's trying to make them look bad.
Talking about,
but if
state houses,
I'm looking at it this way. Basically, I tend to think that he's, call it PR or whatever, but he made that choice also on the belief that he also has a strong argument to put at the ICC, and basically he feels that he's going to win this case. In fact, it feels like he has no case.
So he should have told his peers.
But you see, that is the whole point.
Yes,
he's now going to meet the ICC on a personal level.
Yes,
you see.
Yes.
But there's Africa also.
But not just Africa. First is Kenya, the presidency. That's the whole point. He's now putting aside, I mean, like we were saying yesterday, you can't take a break from that. And he's taking a break for
personal reasons.
Yeah.
Personal reasons.
Yeah. Are we going to stay on this?
No. Let's move.
Let's move on to something else, guys.
Yeah. So he's missing in this meeting the EAC.
No, but Ruto is there. The Kenya as a president.
There's rumor that on his way he passed by in Uganda from the window. Hi guys. I'm on my way.
I sent you a postcard like saying wish you were here.
And his dress code, really, if you saw the pictures.
You guys, yes, I was listening.
Do we know how Ruto got home?
He was
finally
home with his state house or home?
I don't know from where. Was he driving home after work?
He was looking for transport
but
to
at
move.
least I saw Ruto's photos when he's at work.
At work?
Yeah,
okay.
yes.
I saw him jumping on a car like
but you know, guys, before even get out of that, I remember.
No. Let's just get out of it.
Let me
get out of ICC.
No, let me take you somewhere. I'm not even about ICC or something. You know, way back in 2005, when Salva Kiir was attending some, East African summit in Nairobi, his vice, the current now Labour leader, Machar, almost overtook, he almost ousted the president out of power. Now, I was listening to some analysts speaking on TV yesterday. Then the guy what was trying to say was, if Ruto has the right backing, if Ruto has the right people around him, basically, it's very, very easy
for him to take
oust
over power.
Uhuru Kenyatta out of office. As matters stand. How true is that?
But
let's move out.
Let's just move out. Let's withdraw.
That's great for another day.
Leave it to the.
I just want to share some things with you guys. It's just a scam, incredible. I mean, it's just
something about.
Can
Burundi?
we prepare the endorsement jingle?
No,
it's
not. It's even worse than that.
Okay.
You know, because I see on AfricaTime.com.
Yes.
In French, and they say, Burundi, rebellion, blah, 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 a new attack against the Burundian army, and then they put a picture here, right here.
That's the
picture. Can you see this? You see this on the it's not just the radio, you know? And they say, the caption says, the Burundian rebels. These guys are actors. They were shooting a movie. They were shooting a movie. Now they somebody told them, "Hey guys, you're online. You know, you're."
And they're like, "Okay, what's up?" And when they see the caption, they are rebels.
They're using a picture of
a movie.
Actors,
of a movie.
Yes.
And they're captioning the Burundian rebels.
Hey, can you imagine? This kind of journalism?
No, that's
Africa
poor
Time.
That's
a shame.
That cannot be accepted.
Do they have?
And this guy
That's
now
gotta be accepted.
he watches himself online. You know, he say me.
That's money, yeah.
Huh?
They can ask for cash.
Of course,
Faranga.
from
Damn
Africa,
it, it's true. Yeah, sure.
but not just
It's
that.
different.
This is serious defamation.
Yeah, it is.
Yes.
It is.
But
Yeah.
Because the next thing they see you, they say, "You're one of those rebels."
Exactly.
Someone can be shot, eh?
Exactly.
Just because of
Very
this.
true.
Exactly.
Because of that.
These
right.
are actors.
Yeah.
3 actors. You know.
but I think that's that should not be accepted by all standards within, you know.
No, but what do you do for something like that online? You know.
That's poor journalism. Anyway, let's just quickly go through.
Quickly then.
Very quickly, because we are already out of time. Today, of course,
Moses,
there's a meeting.
Quickly.
Moving on. Yeah. Let's make this a quickie. So, so there's going to be
the
meeting.
Kenyans have elections. You know? Okay, let's have a quickie.
So the meeting in Uganda, of course, the Northern Corridor Summit in Uganda today. Of course, we've said Uhuru has gone MIA. And
no, but William is there.
Of course, William is there to represent Kenya.
I am.
So there was this whole noise last week about the network integration thing.
Today,
finally, it's come alive. MTN, Tigo, Said. We even confirmed, you know, from within our news.
You can never have
work in both directions.
Yes,
it should work in both.
Tigo says on Monday. MTN says they have already started. They've been sending some messages going around.
Yes.
Free calls. Is
free
it free?
calls?
Roaming. When you're roaming there are no roaming charges. Hey, there are no roaming charges. No roaming charges. MTN to MTN.
Only short calls are
while you're away.
and even then,
yes.
still pay 100 in some places.
Yeah. So at the end of the day, I think it's important that we also look at this as part of the integration. As in, you can never have an integration process without also integrating the communication.
No, but that was the whole point.
Elements.
I mean, there is a political vision there, but to benefit the private sector, of course. It's all about growing the private sector and opportunities for those 3 countries.
Yeah. And what do you think? What do you think about these guys? The people who are lagging behind.
Forget the guys
who are lagging behind.
They'll come. But when can you imagine if you think about in Africa, a whole continent like that? We're talking about integration. We're talking about these things here. When you think about the whole continent, if you want to travel from one country to another, I mean from west to east and east to west and north to south, by the way, I only see 3 companies for the whole of Africa who are doing that. It's Ethiopian, Kenya Airways, and Rwandair now. I mean,
where are the others?
You would think, I mean, Angola has a fleet, but it flies every day to Europe and Brazil. But not to African countries.
That's where the money is. They have to also make business sense.
But that's the whole point. as long as we don't see Africa as the next opportunity,
then there's a problem. Who will?
But then talking of that, I saw that Rwanda, I saw it's resuming, the flights back to Tanzania again. It's interesting to know that.
They had Ebola. They were cut off because
it's only Ebola that's made flights be put out of other nations.
That's next door. Are they still flying to Uganda, by the way, after the mild
we'll fly in a bubble. Like Akon.
Like Akon. Okay, guys.
Yeah.
So to our listeners out there, thank you so much
and in
for
here.
your time. Oh, yes. And in here. I keep forgetting people in here.
Yeah.
Sorry about that. And I'd like to say thank you so much this morning. It has been News Review with your host, Michael Kiche. So until tomorrow morning, same time, same place, 89.7 Contact FM. Thanks a lot, Albert, Eugene Anangwe, and Moses for being here at this particular hour.
Same place. I think we can do it from outside tomorrow.
We change the venue.
when it's going to be raining, not just cats and dogs, but rhinos and elephants.
Yes.
Okay,
Good morning.
See you tomorrow.
Morning.